Happy Black Friday, everybody. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably watching this maybe like a week after or some indiscriminate amount of time in the future. Indeterminate time in the future, I should say. Well, I said we'd get back to this eventually. We're getting back to it now. We're going to do some world quests today. And as for how far we do on that, we're probably going to be doing the Narcissus Ordo questline first, because that one is the one that I've been itching to continue the most, because it ties into all the world quests we've done so far. And this might get broken up into multiple videos on YouTube, so if you're watching this on YouTube, well, look forward to a much shorter video, I guess. But until then, let's do what we can do. We're also going to do some Furina pulling today, just because. And honestly, I think we should probably start with that. Because, honestly, I don't really do pull videos all that often. We don't really die often anymore, so we don't really pull often anymore. So let's just get that out of the way. I haven't done this in so long. There we go. I think I have a lot of these. Alright. We're gonna do 10 pulls now, and then for every quest we complete, we'll do another 10. Or you know what? Let's just do that. For each, because this is only good for going for 4 more days. For each quest line we complete, or each act, nah, fuck it. We'll do 10 pulls now, and for every hour that passes, I have to make another 10 pull. We'll do that for today. So let's get one out of the way now, and at 1 hour and 2 minutes, we'll do another one. Because I don't really expect to really find many other opportunities to do pulls. You know, I kind of need some more spears. Favonius Greatsword, I wanted another one of those. Nice. I think that makes my Beto C3? Alright. I also just want to get more Masterless Star Glitter. More than anything. That's the other reason why I want to pull a little bit more often. Where was I? Alright, yeah. Let's get that out of the way first. Got a new constellation for our Beto that I don't use. C2. Lightning like jumps to additional 2 targets. Cool. Alright. Without further ado, let's do our first world quest that we have on our list. Search in the Algae Sea. It's time to go back to our Narcissus Ordo again. I'm putting myself on a time clock, and I guess another reminder that we are going to stay in sub only. Because I don't want to get spoiled for anything, and frankly, I need the subs, so, Oh, look, everyone's here! You're back! You bet we are. Have you found anything new in the meantime? Mr. Caterpillar and I have been doing some research. Ooh, and we've discovered that Seymour doesn't, in fact, have an annihilation mode. Following data fragment sorting, this phrase was found to have derived from the novel Prisoner 6 Overrun. In that book, the World Organization launched mass annihilation on an agent to hunt a Chimera down. Like, that stuff's not important at all. Apart from using the free time to go out and investigate, we've also read through the books collected here one more time. We couldn't make heads or tails of them first, and even now, well, they certainly are well written. I don't know whose handwriting it is, or what scribe or copyist was hired, but their penmanship is clear and clearly beautiful. Master of calligraphy, if I ever saw one. Wait, so you were talking about the handwriting? Paimon's got a bad feeling about this already. Did you not find anything during this time, then? Alright, sorry I shan't jest any further. As you know, we told you that we found the last time without holding anything back. However, I fear this time there are some clues hidden in the details we must rely on chance to reveal. Chance? Indeed, for example, if no further revelation concerning the murder emerge, then blood on the painting will always remain a red smear. Yeah, I get what you're saying. We need more clues. Then what would this chance be, Caterpillar? Well, why don't we do a quick recap of everything we've discovered? I guess that's useful. Let's make deductions regarding what happened in the past. That might give us the opportunity to fill in some gaps, and we can help us support or refute our views. That's a good idea. I always felt like there's much about this that's familiar, but I can't recall anything about it. Negative. I can give a continuous account of the resources that I have sorted. Silly dog, didn't you only recover your creator's name after talking to us about the matter? Mechanical noises. Negative. I merely matched similar sounds during said interaction. There was no data or loss involved. However, I must append that I, too, find that keyword searches make searching for entries more efficient. So what do we want to discuss? Well, for a bit of warm-up, or a teaser if you would, you may be referring to a heater. Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Let's start off our deductions with something simple. What is the Marianne in the Anapasis exactly? Huh? That Marianne holds the greatest secret of all. I'm sure you can see that too. Let's get ourselves some armchairs. Maybe crack open a few beers. Oh wait, you can't drink yet. God, we're still making those jokes? Anyway, let's help you sort out our findings. I'll start first. Well, the name Marianne itself is certainly familiar to me. The name of the person I meant to protect is Marianne. Yes, but I have no data regarding the identity of the one who resides within the Anapasis. We are missing context. I can only conclude, based on humans' unmodified lifespan, that they are not the same person. That would seem to be the case, huh? It's been a few hundred years, after all. Well, as for Paimon, she ate chicken mushroom skewer this morning. I guess, well, it's my turn. You mentioned before that you encountered an oceanid creatures that had a great deal of character. One might say a personality, even. I miss Jack. In Frog we trust. In Frog we trust. So were you the one who willed those creatures into being, Anne? I don't think... don't you think that's kind of weird? You know, summoning familiar friends to play house with you, or who knows how long and stuff? Well, I didn't do that. I actually had to get to know Petit Chow, Al, and all the others first. Well then, in that case, let's see what we can deduce from the things we already know. Then let's begin. Are you ready now? I think we all were caught up on that. I just thought of something. I'm looking forward to it. Oh boy, brainstorm a bit of the breakthrough. The oceanid creatures in the Anapasis. Oceanids are sentient creatures unique to Fontaine, and they create oceanid creatures through the mimicry and transformation. I remember all the strange and wonderful oceanid creatures we saw before we met Marianne. Maybe Osial can create water creatures, but it's extraordinary to be able to imagine a creature with rich personalities. It's almost certain that there's an Oceanid on Apophis controlling everything. Who can she be? What Paimon ate this morning? Why is this relevant? The name Marianne. Anne said the name sounded familiar. I should ask her about it. It should be something to come to mind. To Seymour, she's someone that he must protect. Either way, the ordinary humans don't live that long. It's been several hundred years, so they're probably the same person, right? Marianne and Anapasis. The Marianne and Anapasis seems very mysterious. We once suspected that Alan was a character from the dreams. There we go. She's an Ocean. Makes sense. The enigmatic Marianne. Marianne, who has the same name as Seymour's owner and seems to know everything. If she's not an Oceanid, she's probably related to the Oceanid behind all of this. Submit conclusion. That's enough for now. More than enough for a warm-up. Correct. The oddities in Anapasis all point to the powers of the Oceanids. But this is not Miss Anne's doing. All of this together means there's another Oceanid in Anapasis. That's what I suspect. An Oceanid with whom Marianne has a close relationship. Or perhaps she could even be the princess herself. Do you mean to say that Marianne may in fact be Princess Lyris? Yes, Lyris, the Red Empress of the Narcissus Ordo from back then. The Red Empress who loves to take heads. Take heads? I seem to have a vague recollection of something like that. Whoa! But it's not a story about Lyris, rather. It's a fairy tale about someone named Marianne. Yes, the taking heads thing is just a metaphor. Lyris is made of pure water and so has the ability to dissolve and extract people's wills. The Narcissus Ordo used her to extract the ego and become holy. Searching for the keyword Lyris has yielded relevant information in my indices. Talking of the Red Empress has reminded me of a few more things about Marianne. Mull that over a while first, then speak to Miss Anne and Seymour. See if the conclusion you reach awakens new memories. Collect leads and gather your thoughts. I've remembered the name Marianne. Oh, do tell. It's familiar to me because it's from a children's story, the same one that the Red Empress comes from. A female lead, Liddell, was mistaken for Marianne, the servant, and Marianne never appeared throughout the entire story. Maybe Marianne never really existed, except as a fragment of someone's dreams. How do you know about this story, Anne? And isn't that a good question? How do I know about it? The memory feels more vivid than those I have of the story of the evil dragon, Narcissus. Okay, that's a clue. What about you, Seymour? Shall I summarize the entirety entries regarding Lyris I possessed you two? Thank you, please do. Omitting the standard citation format, reconstructing output to match format, report to superiors. Lyris is registered Oceanid. She is not eligible to be stationed at the waters outside Fontaine and has become a special source of information for the nation. She was appointed as the director of an orphanage to symbolize the love and affection of the previous Hydro Archon. The orphanage's affairs were mainly managed by its human vice-director. An orphanage director? And how's she connected to the Narcissus Ordo? It's an orphanage, Paimon. This whole entire thing is just an orphanage that are experimenting on kids. That's basically what I've come up with at this point. As director, Lyris was very affectionate towards the children and quite devoted to them, but her intelligence amongst Oceanids was below average. She wasn't very good at working out the cause and effect of things, nor could she even count. As a result, she was not qualified to perform covert investigations. Sounds like big old cat mom who can't count. What? Big old cat mom? I don't think I've ever heard that turn of phrase before. You know, because cats can't count, so they pick up their kittens one by one and keep going back until they see there aren't any kittens left. Really? I've never heard that. Later, the orphanage was destroyed during the calamity, and official records of her stop there. They say she failed to understand the link between the disaster, the orphans fleeing, and her own conduct, and so she wanders the ruins, drowning in guilt and expectation. I have an underwater locomotion module. Once Marianne and I dove down to the ruins of the orphanage, whose coordinates were the same as those of Ep96. There we found an Oceanid swimming sadly in circles. When she next appeared in the records, she was the core member of the Narcissus Ordo and the subjects of high-priority arrest warrant. But she doesn't seem like a bad person. So Lyris is an Oceanid that's a moron, but also the orphanage director. Considering that she may be connected to Anne, she must have been tricked. Ah yes, there's another important piece of information worth noting. The orphanage's name was the Narcissus Institute. There's that word again. These are all the Muse Phantom files that Mr. Alain Guillotine recorded of the testing light sensitivity while designing me. The output via the image-to-text speech module. According to eyewitness testimony regarding who I suspect to be Lyris, there shouldn't be any problems. And you may have heard this elsewhere, but it's worth mentioning again. Elaine and Marianne were orphans in the care of the Narcissus Institute before the Marchuse hunter Emmanuel Guillotine took them in. Thank you, Seymour. Don't mention it, noble sir. Alright, we're getting more pieces of the puzzle. Caterpillar, what you got for me? Paimon feels you've changed a lot since we met in the Fortress of Meropide, Caterpillar. Would a 5-year-old child and a 15-year-old teenager be the same? Perhaps returning here simply reminds me of the past, and who I used to be. Time is frozen in the fortress. Being locked up there for a day or 100 years, I'm afraid I made no difference. Lenore is what made time flow for me. Watching her grow reminded me that time still passes, and life is still being born, shining brilliantly, and then being extinguished. And so I changed as well. That said, my past self, the person I was before I met her, would certainly be more helpful to Anne and Seymour than our current situation. That's true. Don't be like that. Just think about it. Making up stories for Lenore was nothing more than putting such ways of thinking to good use. Regardless, it has nothing to do with the current situation. You look like you still have questions, Dan. Since we have our own suspicions about Anne and Lyris' relationship, we have topics of discussion that can be used to refute or sustain those conjectures. How do Oceanids reproduce? Actually, Nervalette already told us that. Like, a consciousness that's in them breaks off and forms itself and basically gains sentience. That's basically how it works. It's really interesting. I'm sure you have friends more knowledgeable than I regarding that. Yes, we do. Perhaps you can even find scholars of natural philosophy who have dedicated research to that question. Or you could have asked the Oceanids you know personally. But you asked me. Of course I know what you mean, so this is your speculation, I see. Paimon doesn't get it. When we exchanged information earlier, Dan mentioned that Anne is the person in Marianne's dream. Or perhaps she might be a manifestation made by Marianne. An Oceanid. Why the repetition? Are you just trying to make it sound cuter? Apologies, perhaps my description was ill done. Still, can an Oceanid create an Oceanid creature version of an Oceanid? Oh, so you're saying she's like a Hydra mimic of an Oceanid. Oh, now I get it. That makes much more sense. Wow, that's deep. That's like asking if hard candies can be used as the filler for another hard... What? Okay, now you're losing me, Paimon. So what would you say to that? This question's really interesting, but Paimon's already hungry for answers. I suppose I'd have to say, I suppose so. Still, you may not realize just how deep this rabbit hole goes, so let me explain some more Alice in Wonderland metaphors. Do tell. You might be confused as to why there are Oceanid creatures with personalities in the Ep96. If Oceanids can create Oceanid creatures, then they can create Oceanid humans or Oceanids. Convention dictates that it's rare for Oceanids to be able to mimic humans, unless the human drowns in their arms, or the Oceanid has spent extensive time with the person and knows everything about them. And the Oceanid in question must also have tremendous wisdom and compassion. I'm afraid perhaps only one as powerful as Rodea can do it. That's the Oceanid boss fight that we fight in Qingxi. Oh, so that means Edea must be incredibly strong. That's right, Edea from the Bottleland summer event. Because everybody that we met in Bottleland was an Oceanid familiar of hers. So it's rare to mimic humans, but not impossible. Now creating another Oceanid, that's different. Creating humans using human knowledge can only be achieved by gods, and the same applies to Oceanids creating Oceanids. It usually should be impossible. In this world, at least. Unless this human or Oceanid has already placed themselves above their own kind and attempted such insanity. You mean they thought that they had become a god? That's right, followers blindly believe their leaders, who in turn blindly believe in themselves, giving rise to delirium and delusions. I can do what a god can do. Their deeds are not that great after all. I've heard that quote somewhere before. A powerful belief is a powerful will, and magic is a skill that molds reality to your will. Perhaps the descendant hypothesis makes more sense. Marianne doesn't consider herself an Oceanid type. Perhaps. It's possible and quite understandable, too. If nothing else, the Lyris I know doesn't have this kind of intelligence, nor would she be this crazy. I have some less mainstream ideas about how Oceanids reproduce, but they're not important, and we can discuss them later. We learned from Nervalette a little bit about how Oceanids reproduce. Now let's reorganize the information that everyone has just recalled. This might take some time. It might be somewhat hard on our throats. That's why I keep a 2-liter of water next to me at all times. Because my throat will die from all this reading. I'm ready. So regarding Elaine's younger sister, Marianne, the Anapasis' Marianne, the Red Empress Lyris, and the Anne who's with us, what will our conclusion be? How will we sustain it, and how shall we refute it? Everyone gathers. Is there anything else we feel we should add? As I mentioned before, Marianne is not only the princess in Anne's story, but she is also the person I must protect. She is the younger sister of Elaine Guillotine, the one who designed me for ACV07. As for matters concerning me, I suppose you already know about them, right? Speaking of which, didn't we also hear all sorts of stuff while we were in Elneus? Seymour was also damaged during that time. How did it go? Did you think of anything? About the damaged Seymour and Elneus. That's right, Seymour was damaged inside Elneus, and Mimer's been taking care of him. To my shame, yes, though I do not have such emotions. You can see it as me having lowered my assessment of myself. And according to Elneus, the battle that occurred within the body ended quite terribly. Evidently, that was the battle that damaged you, and was an incredibly fierce one. But considering that you were damaged, then your master might have been... Common sense dictates that the fate of Marianne Guillotine, sister of Elaine Guillotine, was most likely a grim one. But this world is full of tales of loyal knights who exchanged their lives for a miracle, so you needn't grieve too much, Seymour. Seymour appears to have entered a data fragment sorting mode, out of pure shock. But your master, Marianne, was an ordinary human being, wasn't she? And the time that has passed since then far surpasses the last lifespan of any human. Alright, we got other stuff to add. The Red Empress Lyris. She was an important figure in the Nicencrut's Ordo, and she is also the other Oceanid involved in the tale apart from Miss Anne. One of only 2 Oceanids, and we also agreed that we believe there must be an Oceanid behind Anapasis. But her traits don't match those of the Marianne we encountered. Could it be that Lyris's imagination was behind everything, even me? That's unlikely. Seymour mentioned that her intelligence was quite limited, so phantoms of this sort would be quite hard for her. Similar to how the author would struggle to write a character more intelligent than themselves. In fairy tales, the kitten may dream of their living little master, but I fear such things don't happen much in real life. So who is behind all this? And who in the world is that Marianne? The Oceanid Anne. What about me again? We once suspected that you might be the person that Marianne dreamed of. So in your view, Marianne is the Oceanid behind the curtain, yes? I don't know. Well then, do you find the name Lyris familiar? She is, after all, the only Oceanid involved in this apart from yourself. If you mean the title, the Red Empress, then yes, I do have some impression of it. How did it go? The Marianne and Oedipus. That makes her our prime suspect then. To be honest, were you using process of elimination? You actually already guessed as much long ago. I didn't mean to disrespect Anne, though. You're right, but you already have a version of the story in your heart, your own interpretation, yes? If that's the case, then we should go and find that Marianne and see for ourselves. Please permit me to change the topic for a moment. Does this mean that I shall no longer be able to fulfill my orders to protect Marianne? We've worked out this much, and that's the only bit you care about? It may be cruel, but from the moment we discovered that Guillotine's siblings were from centuries ago, it was probably inevitable. Correction, so the conclusion would be that it was my incompetence that exposed Marianne to danger? Do not blame yourself. You have fought to the point of destruction. You have done your part. There is no need to be so pessimistic either, though it was an odd thing to say to a machine. Yeah, it's like pouring Fanta into a sink and saying, "Sink, you'll get fat if you keep drinking like this." Oh, 4ACV07. I can't believe you remember that. What is it, Mr. Caterpillar? Why use my official designation? We may not have reached any conclusions, but we do know what to do next. There is a Marianne in Oedipus too, and she also has close links to the Narcissus Ordo. My long-term memory module confirms this. As such, there is no need to restore your logic module to factory settings yet. Let's take a step back. We can still go find this Marianne. Thank you for your logical troubleshooting and emotional adaptation of maintenance. I think what you said makes sense. It is not yet time to admit the defeat and restore myself to my initial settings, in order to take on a new mission. Yeah, that's right, you silly doggy. Let's leave things here for a while. Then, once you are ready, we can continue. Why don't we go find this Marianne? Let's solve that mystery before tackling the Narcissus Ordo issue. I concur. I'd really like to figure this one out too. After all, it might explain where I come from. My logic module agrees that this is the correct course of action. Shall we go then? Head to the designated location. Well, we're definitely solving all the mysteries here, so at least something's getting done. Alright. I missed the friendship and adventures we had here. I hope we get to see Jack again. We're back again. This time I must marry Anne. That's the spirit, Miss Anne. Truth, I must confess to being somewhat jealous of you. You still hold out hope for recovering your past. I've been searching for centuries, but I haven't found a thing. So please, do your best for this old caterpillar's part as well. Figure your past out and come to accept the present. Yep, I will. Ah, that's right, it's a domain. Jack! Jack's back! Whoa, what are these guys doing here again? Wait, isn't that Al's group? Oh ho! Yes, it is us. And you are Knight Dan and Paimon. It is good to see you. So good that I can't control myself anymore. Please dodge to the best of your ability. Ah, fuck. She asked us to send you a message. Now let me take out her handwritten letter with my hands, which are much like yours, yellow and white ones. Ahem. I don't want to hear your stories. I prefer my version. That's annoying. Ah!
Germinate!
Steady as stone. Hey! Nowhere to hide.
Huh. The bubble that was here before is gone too. Well, it was Princess Lyris's magic. That must be how the story goes. Let me think of a way. Close your eyes, everyone. Temporary optical sensor shutdown. Understood. It will be reactivated on your command. Wait, why do we have to do that? The essence of mime is a pretense. The charade that is something still here. And belief is the heart of magic. The faith that there is meaning here. So let us close our eyes. So Anne, begin imagining what it would look like if that bubble was still here. Close your eyes and you feel some sort of fluctuation. I prefer the story of the Narcissus adventure team sitting down happily for tea time after the adventure has ended. Wow, it really appeared. The Ordo called this step the process of imagining something such as detail. Imaging. Let's go over and have a look. Can't we just, like, ride a Hydro Slime, or, sorry, an Animo Slime up here? That's the entrance that's disappeared this time. Do you know how to make the portal? Can you do your imaging thing on it? Alright, let me give it a try. Close your eyes, and the lonesome silence comes over you. But everyone's left. They won't come back, no matter how long I wait. I can't, it seems. Wait, why? How are we supposed to see this Marianne, then? I suspect that is because the portal has lost meaning and thus cannot be recreated. From what you told me before, the entrance that was once placed here led to a story that had been yet to be written. Now that she has said everything she wanted to, the story no longer has any meaning. Marianne is rejecting our answer. And that is why the way is shut. Does this mean we're going to have to return empty-handed? It does seem so. I wouldn't say we're completely out of luck. Did you notice something we didn't then, Knight Dan? I heard something while Anne was imaging. I did hear something then. So you can hear it too? Would that be Marianne's real thoughts? What did you two hear? Might be best to discuss personal secrets here. The walls might have Let's head back before talking about this. All the way back to the Narcissus Ordo. So could you tell us what you heard? Perhaps the Hilichurl might hear something that humans and Oceanids will not. Just as how dogs and humans differ in that regard. I must correct your statement. My auditory components can indeed pick up higher than lower frequencies compared to humans. However, I am not a dog. Moreover, a dog's low-frequency hearing is similar to that of a human. Is that so? I was talking about real dogs, not you. Haha, silly dog. That said, I didn't think you would hear it too. Night, Dan, I wonder what we heard is the same thing. But everyone's left. They won't come back, no matter how long I wait. Looks like we heard the same thing. I suspect that that was the inner voice of Marianne. Did she say anything else? I'm not trying to invade anyone's privacy or anything. I just think that we're onto something here with you mentioning these words. I think we're attuned to Hydro, and that's why we can hear her. Let me think. After that, I also heard something like, I prefer the story of the Narcissus adventure team sitting down happily for tea after the adventure has ended. And then? I don't want to hear your stories. I prefer my version. Have you noticed something off about this, Dan? Please state your case. Let's think of our own thoughts first. Perhaps we really might be able to come up with some conclusion. This song and dance again. Dr. Caterpillar, when you're ready. I think I'm ready. You want to link the two of them together? What a coincidence. I happen to agree. But I have some other thoughts to share too. Though they may not have anything to do with the next step of our reasoning. Are you willing to listen? I'm listening. Earlier, we broached the topic of the oceanid reproduction. It's a huge taboo for oceanids to mimic the transformation of one of their own kind, just as it is for humans to create humans. But you see, humans can create humans, though, through love. Go, pursue eternity, not through mystery, but love. What if by some chance this mysterious method of oceanid reproduction is accomplished through imagination and mimicry? Perhaps the regret or remorse gives birth to a thought, and as they imagine the path that could have been taken, the new oceanid is born. It's a very interesting idea. It's pretty close to what Nervalette told us as well. We'll never know, after all. It's a secret passed down amongst oceanids only. In any case, we'll begin once you're ready. Let's begin. Why do we care? Fine, I'll humor it. I don't know why, but I can't get this out of my mind. It can't really be foreshadowing, can it? Marianne Guillotine. The one that Seymour was supposed to protect. Something happened in Alneas, resulting in Seymour's damage and her disappearance. Where is she, and what is her relationship with Marianne? Maybe she was turned into an oceanid by the primordial sea. Talking of Marianne. Marianne, who wove a fairy tale without an ending. She refused our visit, but she mentioned her memories from the Narcissus Institute. It sounded like she was waiting for everyone to return to the Institute ruins. The memories of the Narcissus Institute. The only person who grew up in the Narcissus Institute and has a matching background is Marianne Guillotine. Marianne Guillotine's memories. Marianne has Marianne Guillotine's memories. There we go. Marianne is that younger sister. So then, if Marianne is Marianne Guillotine, they have the same name and matching memories. Member of the Narcissus Ordo from several hundred years ago. Her whereabouts afterwards are unknown. She is also the only other oceanid involved other than Anne. The person who once waited within the deserted ruins for everyone's return was Lyris, the former director. Director Lyris's memories. Marianne has Lyris's memories. So then, if Marianne is Lyris, another piece of evidence we have is that they can both use oceanid powers to control Anapasis. we go. The identities are contradictory? No, not necessarily. But how can she be both at the same time? Lyris' abilities. This must mean that Lyris is an Oceanid and probably has special powers. There we go. Dissolving the personality and will. Her job in the Ordo was to dissolve the members' egos. What could have happened between her and the missing Marianne Guillotine? For some reason, Lyris dissolved Marianne Guillotine's personality, and afterward their wills, now mixed, began to dream. They dreamed of a simple world where the princess is saved and all the evil dragon gets killed, while the heroes are always pressing onward. They dreamed of a world where everything was simple and had an answer as long as Anne was there. Thus Anne and Marianne were born. We put the pieces of the case that were floating all over the algae back together. Just as an empty box, even after being put together, but we finally figured it out. What the lost pearl should look like. What are you trying to say, Caterpillar? Wait, don't give Paimon any hints. She's going to figure them out on her own. We've pieced together a good guess from the clues, but the truth is still unproven. Of course, my speech analysis module has determined that Miss Paimon is correct. Actually, I meant that we may never know the truth, but I'm afraid we have no choice but to accept this as conjecture. So, Knight Dan, is the secret of my birth? I'm afraid I can't accept something like that right away. I understand, Miss Anne. It's a shocking fact and will require you to accept yourself again. But I don't think it should be that difficult to do so. After all, knowing your past does not require abandoning everything about the present. I do not understand the specific context of this discussion, but I would like to add that I do not believe I am different from how I was before the suffering of disc damage. Even though you insist on addressing me as a silly dog, my identification number is still 4ACV07. Come on, it's not that serious. I promised Knight Dan and I would accept the conclusion as long as it's reasonable. Then I have a suggestion, one that will resolve Miss Anne's quandary and put a stop to Narcissus' plans. Narcissus? Narcissus? Oh, Paimon remembers now. You mentioned this before, Caterpillar. Just who is he? Well, simply put, he is the leader of the Narcissus Ordo. Sounds like he's got an impressive resume, but isn't the Narcissus Ordo always up to no good? Wouldn't that make him the nastiest of the lot? Of course, during my time with my master creator and the other Marchuse hunters, we devoted most of our time to hunting the Ordo down. As I said before, the goal of the Algae operation was to capture or eliminate Narcissus as well. However, my memory does not contain any intelligence regarding his involvement. As a given, looking back at it now, he was merely using us as bait. And I wasn't the only one. It was the same for Jacob, Lyris, and many others in the Ordo. I'm afraid the Algae operation was probably never more than a red herring with the goal of leading you and Guillotine away to buy more time for him to execute his true plans. Remember the doomsday clock I mentioned? Yeah, that thing that's up there ticking away. It's what the Ordo considers the countdown to the apocalypse, right? To be more precise, it's an apocalypse that is calculated by the world formula. This planet itself should survive just fine, though. The beast of the stars shall drink the amniotic fluid of the world dry. 100 years more, and all the surface life shall be wiped away. Once life on the surface is wiped out, only that which is underwater will remain. Can a planet full of fish eventually rise up to the ocean and stars? The thought of all terrestrial life going extinct is pretty spooky, But when you say that, things like that, it does have a romantic ring. The heading of the Publishing House novel from a few years back, Mimere brought it back to the village to learn how to paint. Oh, no wonder. Anyways, for myself and the others gathered here, though the Narcissus Ordo is the source of all of our troubles, its objective and Narcissus' great purpose were actually completely selfless. He only took actions he did because he calculated the coming of the apocalypse. He wished to save the world. So is the world really on the verge of destruction? I feel like I should have done this before the Archon quest. I believe this to be a pathological delusion caused by paranoia. Were the apocalypse real, would you be able to forgive Narcissus? No, it's a bit too early to consider such things. You have yet to understand what happens to you, Anne. And as for you, Seymour, your hostility is a result of your programming and the duties it imposes. I suppose we must find out the Holy Blade of Narcissus. Really? We're going for that again? I'm talking about the real one, of course. As much as it may be quite strange to say that the ceremonial sword of a magic society is real, not only will it help us stop Narcissus' plans, but its unique powers may be able to undo the merging of wills. Should we be able to separate Lyris and Marianne, and then Miss Anne, you can defeat the evil dragon Narcissus and rescue Princess Lyris. Regardless. Let's get moving first. That's the spirit. It might take some time to explain. Let's move first, and I'll explain when we get there. Follow the caterpillar's directions to the specified location. Oh, looks like we're finally going to that new area. This will be my first time exploring this area. It's time to go get a new Tower of the Seven unlocked. Hey diddle diddle. The cat and the fiddle, the fish jumped over the moon. Oh, this must be that new story event that I'm trying to skip. Yeah, there's some sort of event going on. We'll probably do that at another time. Ah, damn it. I thought I could sneak past it. Atmospheric visibility acceptable today. Enough that you can see the tower over there, yes? That I can. I passed by it earlier, actually. That building was once known as the Narcissus Ordo, as the Tower of the Ep96. We later would call it the Tower of Gestalt. It was named for the idea of that things that have been separated need to be combined and displayed in their original complete form. But I suppose I might be speaking in reverse. The heart was complete to begin with, and the mistake was to divide it up for separate study. Paimon doesn't get what you just said. It's fine, don't worry about it. Plays on words are also a trick that mysterious organization enjoy pulling. What matters is what we do next. Some of the vocabulary you used is missing from the semantic indexes, so I could not properly parse your meaning. But I understood the last sentence. Please tell me what I should do. While investigating alone, I found a map of the seal of the chemical marriage. You could say that I found 4 seals. Oh. Is that a full map of Fontaine? And this tower is one of the locations? That's not the place we need to go. That said, though, who can be sure? Perhaps our destinies will yet again take us there in the future. Either way, we need to use the position of the tower to locate the other 4 places. That's why we came here first. So what are those 4 seals for? That said, we discovered from experience that it's usually best practice to break the seals and give whatever the ringleader we find a good walloping. As for me, I'd like to restore the Holy Blade of Narcissus. Cool, new weapon. Well, I suppose we could also just call it the answer. As I've said before, the Narcissus Ordo once had a ceremony to remove the ego and will. The Holy Blade was used in that ritual. I remember something about that. If Lyris and Marianne's wills created Anne, and if the old me was placed in some Hilichurl's body... Ah! Wait a minute. Didn't we already find the Holy Blade in Narcissus? Wait, really? Look. A wooden sword. It's the wooden sword we found during our adventures. Yes, so it is. Hey, what kind of reaction is that? I thought I brought that up before, actually, that we did already find the sword. Perhaps you could think of it like this. The wooden sword found in the Narcissus Institute named the Holy Blade of Narcissus. That makes it more important than any other ordinary wooden sword. Perhaps it might be of use when the time is right, just like the Holy Blade of the story. You don't need to try to make us feel better. Got it, let's go. Anyway, assuming I looked at the map from the right angle, we'll find the entrance to one of the seals nearby. And Act 1 has begun. That was a long prelude for the beginning act. We have a map fragment now as well. Yep, we now have a full map of Fontaine. Oh wow! I just realized that Marcotte Station, that questline I kept skipping, the new Tower of Seven is literally right there. That's kind of silly. What is this thing? Machine with a xenochromatic ball. Octopus abilities? Sometimes you see these strange ecological devices, yada yada yada. Interacting with them, you can use the power of the xenochromatic ball octopus within a certain range, even on land. I see. Alright, I think I get this one. This one makes sense. Use octopus ability on thing to open. I probably should read this. In case there's lore. Owie, my legs. This music is really something. Alright. I'm gonna kill every Hilichurl I see just because I need the Hilichurl masks. And the arrowheads. Because right now, I have pretty much everything I need to put all my party up to level,
Don't blink.
level 90. I just, need the crafting items.
Incoming. Hey! With sword comes shadow.
And the ground here not being level is really fucking annoying. Okay, this one's already open. Octopus ball. Haha! I didn't fall that time. This door's already open. Wait a minute. Paimon thought it was sealed. Oh, those are Rift Hounds. Oh, that's annoying.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Alright. The bonfires are still burning. Wait, why is there a bonfire here? This is just a ruin. Let me see what's written on the stone tablet. Lo, this place is the Orthant of Memory, The Hall of Memory, the Room of Memory. Born in an instant, often contradicting. Your company in eternal rest. Never separated, fire cannot burn it. Riddles, huh? Ancient Fontanian civilization loved them. And the Narcissus Ordo enjoyed them too. I'm not sure if they were just into old stuff, or if this was the genuine interest. I have already... tried keyword searches on all of them, but I have found no answers. But this riddle already has been solved. Maybe the answer has coming to do with the bonfire. Is there any point in thinking about riddles that have already been solved? I bet we're going to run into Jacob, and that's why this is already open. Yes, there is, just like you and I both, like this now. But we must still search for what happened in the past. You've got a point. What do you think the answer is, Night Dan? Products of lithosis, you know, like kidney stones and such. Oh my god. Shadows. Yes, shadows. The instant a beam of light shines, a shadow is born. We know the answer, but somebody's already opened the door. So what do we do now? We go inside now, of course. It's a race against time to see if we can find what we're looking for before the person who solved the riddle does before us. And we saw rift wolves, which means Jacob is definitely close by. Solve the Orphan's puzzle.
I'll catch up.
Excerpt. If water loses its incentiveness, how shall it become water again? If a tree leaves the soil, where shall it go to take root? No matter how mighty the stone may strike upon metal, humans cannot survive without water or soil. Copied from Echoes of Hollowed and Humble, Movement 9, Stance 27. Great, these things. Energy flow. Within these ruins, there are strange water-colored energy flows. Additionally, there are energy devices and tracks. These strange tracks can even use lifts to transfer flows to higher or lower level channels. Large machine in the middle. Okay. Makes sense. So now how do we open this one? Oh. Gotcha. I see now. We figured it out. Release the energy flow. Alright. That makes sense. So this one's powered up now. Go up. There we go. Muse's mother. Obtain the memory piece. Oh. Gotta grab the thingy at the top. Got it. Carefully inspect the top of the mechanism, but you find nothing. There's nothing here. It's like something was here, but someone else took it. I mean, doesn't that mean that our plan has already failed? The birth of reason requires the merging of 4 orthents. We can get the rest of them, we still have a chance. In that case, we better hurry to the next area. Alright, that's 1 of 4 seals. Oh, we're underwater now. This flooded the area. Interesting. Fort Charybdis. I get that reference. We should be getting close. Be careful. Well, I already mentioned it. It's been an hour. We wasted an hour. Another 10 pull is required. A little bit late to that. We'll do the next one at 2:12. At least we're not getting more Harbinger of Dawns. Ooh, the bell. I'm just happy to see something new. Alright. Find the seal. Can I walk past this guy without aggroing him? Yes. This is the place? Shouldn't you be more concerned with the person lying on the ground in the field? In your field of vision? I didn't even notice him. Huh? What happened? My apologies, miss. I prioritized the search for the stone tablet. Allow me to conduct a scan now. My apologies, miss. What? Although he's still alive, the breath of life has escaped his body through the orifices. I've seen this handiwork before. Ugh, Paimon can't look. We have to get help. We can't just leave him like this. Together, you deliver the unconscious man to Ludamus Harbor. The people there immediately take him and receive medical treatment. Knowing that he's in good hands, you all return to where you were before. Alright, now let's have a look at this stone tablet. Lo, this place, the Orthent of Wishes. Temple of Wishes, Room of Wishes. Often contradicting, born in an instant. Your company and eternal rest, never separated. The tainted fruits of sin. Another riddle. Why do something scary here? It could have something to do with the answer to the riddle. Well, fountains are sinners. Life is tainted with original sin. For this reason, the answer is life, I suppose. I'd guessed it correctly. Can you be sure that's the answer? I know the rhetoric and semantics of the Narcissus Ordo too well. Barring any surprises, that is the answer. Okay, it's time to make up for lost time. We need to hurry now. Meteoric Lance. It's a painting. Ooh, wow, I can walk into that almost.
Propagate!
Incoming!
Chromatic ball octopus. Gotta get the fucking ball octopus again. Oh, it's up here. Got it. No. I don't get it. Anyhow. Oh, hang on. Turn it. There we go. Aha! What is going on here, though? Why is it putting it in a painting? That's so weird. I hear metal clanking footsteps when I walk on this. Alright. We have progressed. Ugh.
Steady as stone. Leave it all to me. No escape. Speed of light. Hey! With sword comes shadow. Incoming. Yeah!
There we go. I see. Well, no turning back now. Alright, so we'll solve the puzzle. Oh, great, I'm doing this shit again. Okay. Water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Oh, someone's diary. To think we really did find Remuria's ruins at the indicated location, but was there ever any doubt? Mr. Ingold has arranged for the plans of an official construction project to be drawn up. The people from the Palais Memoria have already confirmed the location of the construction team has arrived. I suppose it was always better to report our deeds first rather than have them come knocking. The Marchos hunters were called in to take charge of security. It might be too risky to think that this will completely allay suspicions. Mr. Calafia is not the sharpest tool in the shed, but she is still quite a disciple of. The Master and Master Ingold brought an Oceanid to the as-yet incompleted tower. The deeper meaning behind this went to seek an audience with the Master to ask for his advice. This time I only met Mr. Ingold. He seemed to be looking for something. According to Mr. Ingold, the Master is performing the great ritual. He said that to do with the celestial bodies, the primal fire, the details of which were not divulged, or the sanctity of silence and self-driven will be broken. Great focus and separation from the world must be maintained for a time after Mr. Ingold will take charge of. Someone in the construction team has started spreading some strange rumors. Well, strictly speaking, those aren't rumors, since fortunately, Miss Calafria seems to consider the tales the result of the workers' prejudices against archaeological work. Mental state is reported to Mr. Ingold. After receiving the report, he organized to help the affected. Calafria seems to have caught it on somewhat. She questioned Mr. Forasimiro to his face regarding the stone slates. Madame Lavu and Miss Lemarand were able to ally her suspicions, but it's only a matter of time before this gets to the Eudex. The work is completed. Mr. Ingold, repressing the Master, gathered everyone to express. May the Master's great ritual go smoothly. Since it's Mr. Ingold saying it, I doubt there's any deception here. Still, I do find this a little strange. Miss Zenata came to see us at the dead of night. She claimed to be concerned about the Master's whereabouts, such as the third time blank fell. She secretly used blank's blank to perform divination. The results worrying. She suspects that Mr. Ingold has not been truthful and seeks to gather high-level members to submit a public inquiry to him, already prepared a secret report. I should feign non-committance and ask that she reconsider. After all, my divinations say that the Master is in the tower, hasn't left. After that, I should leverage Professor Griffin, I. Randolph's social standing to release cover story outside the world. This reeks of tedium, but will buy the Ordo some time. At least the nobles will make themselves useful for once. I probed Madame Lavero a little. She seemed unworried about the Master. Her divinations returned results similar to mine. The Master is alive and, well, is within the tower. Pyromancy, hydromancy, astromancy, and I'm guessing necromancy all gave the same results. Maybe electromancy. Well, it seems that Mr. Zanotti is simply fear-mongering. Mizzotti and her supporters have abruptly left the Ordo. They have left behind a single note stating that they were disappointed with the future. Well, fair enough. After all, blank divination of her seems to be nothing but the work of charlatans. It would be no help to Narcissus' ideals anyway. Mr. Ingold seems somewhat disappointed. Out of curiosity, I divined Miss Zanotti's whereabouts. Something wrong. Those who left the Ordo previously are still within the tower. Divination method cannot be mistaken. I must speak to Mr. Ingold in person. That seems super important.
I'll race you there.
Octopus. So this one raises over time. This one's even slower, damn. Down. What is this thing? Numisa storage box. Super storage built absolutely cannot be opened in any way. That is, unless someone manages to figure it out. The energy emitting it is Wisa or Numa and uses attack of the charge with the opposite alignment to strike. Yep, I'm never fucking dealing with that.
Incoming. With sword comes shadow.
Scatter!
I'll race you there.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with that over there. A lot of paintings everywhere. Strange. Worry about that later. Go up. Release. Came from this way, right? So if we go back the other way, there's There's gotta be something under here, right? I am so smart. Okay, time for some underwater exploration, because it's all I haven't done yet. What on earth? Okay, I think I've solved the puzzle. Alright. So we want all three of these this way. God, I hate stuff when it's really slow like this. Still haven't figured out how those paintings work.
Yeah.
All this effort to charge this one fucking elevator. Oh no. Evil Seymours.
That's cheating.
I'll keep this close.
There we go. Carefully inspect the top of the mechanism, but you won't find anything. There's nothing here either. Exactly what we're looking for, Caterpillar. Looking for materials necessary to forge the Holy Blade of Nazengrutz. The Ordo was able to produce 4 requisite hypothetical substances here in the material world based on the esoteric philosophies of the Underground Kingdom and Ancient Fontaine. I do not understand. These enigmatic substances are purely experimental. You could say they're even further beyond ordinary logic than elemental power. I entered all introductory and intermediate level textbooks from the Academia's Spontamod into my memory banks decades ago. There's nothing mysterious about elemental power. Is that so? Anyway, to sum up, this born of confluence and tradition from the Fontaine and technology from the ancient Underground Kingdom, and thus 4 types of substance came into being: memory, wish, soul, and persona. To avoid any possible ambiguity, let's call them memory piece, wish piece, soul piece, and persona piece. Why are these used to make the Holy Blade? In the Narcissus Ordo's brand of mystical philosophy, the temple is a microcosm of the universe. The members stand for the gods, and the holy oil is tempered willpower. The Holy Blade, on the other hand, is reason, which cuts everything open. It can only be born out of the consummate human will. Quite abstruse. That's esotericism for you. You attach yourself to anything that looks similar enough, and when this sort of thing becomes magic, fiction becomes reality. Anyway, we should make our way to the next area now. Alright, Meteoric Lance. Cupid's lover. One of the things I like doing about the world quests is when they take me to areas I haven't been to yet. Haha, I'm smart. Dangerous autocannons. Uh-oh. I don't like the sound of that. Lo, this is the place of the Orphan of Souls, the Shrine of Souls, the Room of Souls. I accompany you, the eternal rest, born in an instant, often contradicting, always united. I am life's most cherished treasure. Nothing scary this time. The answer is a pocket watch. Speaking of which, don't you have one too on? Well, watches are expensive. The best answer must be money, as in Mora. Passing away along with your money is life's second greatest tragedy. Don't ask what the greatest one is. What is life's greatest tragedy, then? I am aware of this one. It is to rest. Your coffin is without a single Mora to your name. Not sure I agree with those values. Aren't there many things more important than that? Well, that's why I say don't ask. I apologize. Anyway, based on the above reasons, I don't think the answer is fancy timepiece, nor is it Mora. What could it be, then? The answer is simple. I can retrieve the similar riddles with 70% match rate. This is from centuries-old classic novel. It reads, I was born in the fleeting moment. When eyes meet, I run with the back turned to the one I pursue. Even after the flesh and bone, the entrails have been sliced away, I lie nestled in your memory narrow what that remains. The answer is love. I get it now. The pocket watch is just like the one I have, then. Must be filled with memories of love. And if only it would open. It will, one day. Why, well done, you silly dog. Who's the cutest mechanical dog? It was my pleasure. Cute, however, is a subjective description. I would prefer to be addressed with the reliable, useful prototype 4AC V07. And that's exactly what makes you so cute. You're reenacting in your old conversation. I feel like I've seen this scene before. In any case, someone's already solved this riddle. Let's get moving. Let's see. Pocket watch. Come on. Alright. Cupid's slobber. That's a dangerous autocannon right there, Come on, spin. Spin to win. Open says me. Okay. There we go. There we go. I think I wasted a lot of time there. All right. Special key.
I'll catch up.
Okay, so this is going to get annoying really fast. Further we explore. Ugh, more enemies. There we go. Alright, so we have to go down the 4 paths. Let's start with this one. Oh, that was easy. Ah, there's the special key too.
Bet you can't keep up with me.
Go down, release. Release.
I'll race you there.
Alright, one path down, another path to go. Right, we have the special key now. Go down. Release.
Wow, these will come in handy.
This was a much easier puzzle than the last one. One last path.
Bet you can't keep up with me.
Go down. Sea.
Another target tracked down by Outrider Amber.
Haha! We filled it up early. And we skipped a battle.
I'll keep this close.
Alright. Nothing. Again. Did someone take whatever was here too? Looks that way. Just who is it? It's Jacob. We had an altercation with him in Alneas once. Clarification, recently, not once. When I saw that unfortunate victim at the gate, I knew it was his handiwork. It seems he's still active after all. Then what does he want with this stuff that he took from here? Simple, he too wants to reforge the Holy Blade of Nazenkrutz. The dream of the Ordo remains unrealized. Anyway, we should make our way to the final area now. Okay. Thalia and Melpomene. Alrighty. Another hour, another 10 pull. Which makes this the third 10 pull of the stream. Ah, I knew we'd get another Harbinger of Dawn eventually. Golly! Thought I already pulled 10 items. Okay. I'm bad at math. Obtained extra 135 Masterless Stardust. Kale is a 4-star I actually use. All Embers. Trump card Kitty by 3. Alrighty. Final area. Head to the final seal. It's the area up ahead, the final one. We better get a move on. This is the last place. At least the entrance is still sealed. Looks like Jacob hasn't answered the riddle here. Perhaps he provided an answer, just not the answer. The answers before were shadow, life, and love. Based on the previous pattern's logic hypothesis, the tablet inscription would be as follows. Always united, born in an instant, often contradicting, I accompany you to the eternal rest. And then the last line is the first droplet. Caterpillar Seymour, do you guys know the answer? I think I have an idea concerning the first droplet. It sounds like it's referring to the first raindrop that fell following the creation of the world. I believe this idea was in vogue with the ancient fontaine and the Ordo. How are we supposed to find something like that? Well, the first droplet became part of the water in Teyvat. In a sense, every drop of water is the first droplet. It's like the first god spreading the potential for greatness, element of divinity present in every person's body. But if it's that simple, the person who came before us should have no problem offering up the right answer. Indeed, probably wrong. Well, even if it were the wrong answer, it was a good one. I can only conclude that the person who set up these riddles has no sense of romance. And now he's laughing at you for not getting how security works. I'm unable to provide an answer. My search for the first droplet received 1,200 results. Legend has it that the first drop of wine came to be when the animal god... Okay, you can stop there. We can give it a shot. Let's go to Mondstadt. Very well. About that, I think I have something I can share. There's a legend that says that Oceanids came from the first tear shed by the previous Hydra Archon. That I have heard before. Meanwhile, the first tear on Earth was shed by the first Oceanid. After she came to understand humanity. Wouldn't the first tear in the world have come from the first crying human baby? Animal tears are actually salt discharges, and thousands in those peaceful times, humans breathed their first in laughter. That's what the legends say, anyway. Actually, I believe that the cries of babies and animals' discharges can be regarded as similarly unemotional behaviors. Babies cry due to external stimuli to fill their lungs with air as quickly as possible. That's what Sumeru and Murta textbooks say. Is the answer Oceanid, then? Does seem like an answer that a person before us might not have provided. I think you're hitting a dead horse here. I think we're on the right track. Sure beats trying to find the animal god's wine. Based on my understanding of the Narcissus Ordo, this makes logical sense. The Red Empress who dreams in a place unknown. The dreamer who never says what they mean. That even more confusing than riddles. Well, what does it matter? We've already at the final juncture. Whatever the case, the answer will come to us in the end. In the end, if you wouldn't mind. Sure, I'll give it a try. I do come up with another answer quickly if I fail, alright? Hey, it opened! You have to get the last piece, otherwise the Holy Blade will fall into the Ordo's hands. Are we just following it this time? I see. Well, these look lined up. So let's just follow it. Go up. Release. Man, I love it when the puzzle is easy. Okay, so we really need to get it from one more direction, though. There's easy, and then there's finding keys. Okay, we gotta drain the water in here somehow. Gotta find the crystals for this. They're probably under here. Go. Just gotta line this up. That looks reasonable. Alright, now where does this water go? Come on. Oh, it does hit this one. Alright. Oh, so this is all open now. Sneak by, avoid a fight. Oh, there's the special key. Now, if I remember correctly, I need a special key this way. Was to open the gate, right? This way. All right. What was the point of opening this? I guess there's a chest
A
here.
reward on the road.
Am I missing something here? Okay. It's like there was nothing in here, because this one's already activated. So what was the point? Gotta go through the effort of finding a key just to come here and not do anything. I gotta get this thing up there somehow. Does killing you fix that? Oh no, there's spawning more of them in.
Don't blink.
Oh my god, they just keep spawning more.
Propagate!
Speed of light. Hey, let it rain.
Got it. Alright. Violence was always the answer.
Another target tracked down by Outrider Amber.
All right. Is that the Persona piece ahead? Unable to analyze density of substance before us, it appears to have a mass of 0. Looks like we've got the last piece. We should at least be able to negotiate a bit with our opposition now. On the bright side, at least we can stop the Narcissus Ordo from forging the Holy Blade. Not at all, Paimon. Our final goal is to forge the Holy Blade ourselves and use it to stop their plan. Of course, Anne, I have not forgotten what this sword means to you. A holy sword that can cut the will is also the key of unraveling the mystery. And to be honest, it is equally important to me as well. It's just we have more important pressing matters at hand. Would you mind then if we looked into the mysterious surrounding us later? I'm fine with that. In that case, Dan, please take this persona with you if you would. Alright. Suppose I could take this to mean that you've accepted our invitation. What is happening? What just happened? Someone said something and we were separated from Caterpillar and the others. Where are we being sent? Probably to the tower, if I had to guess. This is really cool. That voice sounded familiar. Where have we heard it before? Is it Jacob Ingold? Is it Marianne? Is it Elneas? I can kind of move a little bit. We're definitely going to the tower. Man, this thing looked a lot smaller when we were far away from it. That's really cool. Then we ended up at the top of that tower of Gestalt Place. We're separated from Caterpillar, Anne, and Seymour. What should we do? Looks like there were traps waiting down below. Things haven't gotten serious yet. Let's check out the scenery. It's not dangerous yet. Let's count some prime numbers. Come on, you should at least have a little sense of urgency. Paimon knows you're a good fighter, and Paimon's worried about the others. But our only choice is to keep going. Is that the entrance? Is there any traps? Just smash them. In accordance with Fontanian law and provisional national blank provisions, as well as the Pneumonia Act number 102, the Narcissus Ordo is declared an illegal extremist group and a criminal organization. This location will be permanently sealed from this day forth. Destroying this notice board will be seen as a challenge to national authority, and violators will be publicly sentenced to charges of blank. Date, blate, the reverse side of the seal of the court with the signature of the Alien Guillotine and Nouvellette. Down the hatch. I'm amazed that we've only now hit 2.5 hours. Search in the Algae Sea. Wait. Wait a minute. I've been here before. This is... So we've been in here the whole time? That's so mind-blowing. I was worried the Master's clock might break down at the crucial moment, so I came just to do a bit of maintenance. What took you so long? I even had time to finish the anti-rust treatment with it and oil it up. That's a voice I heard earlier. You're a purple dude. I've told you, just call me Jacob. How did you end up in this trap? I believe the persona section to be the most important, for there lies the persona excised by Mr. Nessenkreutz himself. Only a drop of water from an ocean can open it up. I can't allow it to be taken by just any ignorant adventurer. So I set a trap before activating the Orthant and sealed the space off. Why are you here? Why shouldn't I be here? This is the Narcissus Ordo base. Is there something wrong with returning to my own base? You're the ones who are trespassing. Don't you feel a twinge of guilt for breaking the law? This was once the realm of a god. Now a pheasant sits upon the throne, just like the world today. As compensation, give me the rest of your paints and the persona I need. I refuse. Even now, at a time like this, just what are you so hung up on? The countdown of the world's end has started. I must forge the Holy Blade and place it in my master's hand. Is Narcissus this master of yours? Indeed, according to his world formula, the second deluge is looming before us. When it comes, only he will be able to save the world. Only by forging the Holy Blade can he continue his unfinished work, gathering the wills of everyone in Fontaine, the continent, and even the entire planet unto himself. As the primordial sea returns once more, and the devourer of all darkens the sky, only he who is unto himself may survive. Only then will all our souls, nay, all of humanity's souls, be spared from destruction. We will welcome a new dawn at the tranquil sea of innocence he grants us. So this is your big plan to save the world? Turn everyone into one super oceanid? Sounds like you're just bundling everyone's consciousness together without their consent. And what would you know of anything? Only Master Nessenkrutz's new body will survive the coming second deluge. Deluge? Even if all other life disappears into the sea, we'll survive alone. He will remember all those lives that were lost. He recognizes the value of equality of all life. A selflessness that shall not be besmirched by the ones such as you. So where is he now? In the deepest depths beneath us. When the thugs and dogs of Fontaine surrounded us and attempted to wipe us out, he descended alone into the abyss below. But he must still be alive, and the time for his return is nigh. Quickly give me what you have on you, then I will have all the Orthants and you may leave. How about this? I'll trade you the rust treatment. Trade you this for rust treatment and oil. Think of it as a gift for that foolish dog. In the dawn of the new world, it is unlikely there will be a place for Guillotine's fantasies. I refuse. The new world is not as weak as you think. That's right. Paimon and Dan have seen more crises than you've eaten lotus flower crisps. And we always come out on top. Truly, there is no reaching your exalted heights. I remember how Master used to pretend to be an evil dragon when we played as children. Who would have thought he would become the hero, while the real evil dragons would come after us one after the other? Guillotine may have disappeared, but here his successors come, self-assured, thinking themselves totally infallible. The heck are you talking about? The time has come. A century ago, the prophecy predicted all he will return. If you will not give me what I need willingly, I will take it myself. Alright, time to take down Jacob. We all knew this was coming. Narcissus' artificial apostle.
Germinate!
Don't blink! Huh? Cut to the chase. No one escapes my sights. Let it... Time to clean up.
This is a variation of that boss fight that got added into the Northern Desert Zimmer, if I remember correctly. The Apostle of the Apocalypse. Or Bishop, whatever it's called.
Steady as stone. Incoming. Yeah.
Propagate!
Speed of light.
Looks like we arrived in time. Caterpillar's here. See more.
Yeah.
Forgotten Hillacher that you are a monster, a being bereft of memory and sin. Master gave you the intelligence so we can snuff out the flame as well. Carvings of gemstones and wisdom, simulated grading the tape and gears, crystalline pipelines. I destroyed you once before. This time I will turn you into a little more than shards of scrap metal. Yikes. Anne, are you gonna help out?
Don't blink. Hey! With sword comes shadow. Incoming.
I love using that to dodge.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Top everyone off health-wise.
Scatter!
Don't blink. Go, go, Barret Bunny.
Focus on the bunny, ignore me for a bit.
Hey,
Propagate!
no escape. Speed of light. Cut to the chase.
Almost got him down.
Steady as stone. I'll catch up.
Scatter! Spring forth!
That was an achievement. Don't know what I got there. Huh. It's been a while. Chrysalysis. Still no sign of metamorphosis, I see. Perhaps you've grown too used to being a caterpillar. Have you already forgotten the time we spent here? It was a brief time compared to our eternity, but those brief moments granted us mastery of this universe. I was nothing more than your exhibit at the time, nor could I understand your grand plans, plus I tend to have a bad memory for things I don't like. But on your return you performed the dispelling ritual. How fastidious of you. Of course, how could I not allow spiritual impurities or contaminants into the Master's space? Alas, have you not yet left your cocoon? You will return to the void in the end. There is no place for you in the new world. Hand over the rest of it. I shall permit it. It seems you who are the hero wielding the holy blade in this telling of the story, while I am the dragon who falls to your sword. It matters not in the end. All elements are in place, and the dragon has been defeated. You may guard reason for now. After all, nobody can truly own the holy blade. We merely hold it as it travels in direction. It must until it reaches its final destiny. The holy blade can be any object, but there is a particular symbolism in it being a sword. Well then, present something that can hold a reason. Let's use the blade of Holy Narcissus Founder. Not. This is... What's next, Jacob? Don't you want to reforge the Holy Blade as soon as possible? Osinid, you touch the sword. Is this a trap? No, although the Holy Blade can part any will from water, it can also unite wills. It can accommodate both the primordial and that of Order. You have been chosen because if you are an illusion, you contain something the Narcissus Ordo has gathered over many years. The power of will. Should we trust him? I don't feel like we have a choice here. His biological indicators show very low probability of lying, though I remain doubtful. How long must you dawdle? If you're no better than that rusty old shell guillotine created, would you like some oil for your brain or rust remover? Speaking of rust remover, what about it? That watch. Yeah, we could try using the rust remover on the watch. What nonsense are you going on about? Adults shouldn't interrupt children. Am I a child too? Oh, it's open. There they all are. The memories in the pocket watch. So that must be Alain Guillotine on the left. Marianne right next to them. Maybe, I don't know. That's gotta be Jacob and Nazenkreutz on the far side. There's a photo inside. How nostalgic. Elaine, Renee, Director Lyris, Marianne, and myself. As we once were. I remember this photo. I think I remember. Matching traits detected. That is Marianne in my ward. Well, has the oil helped lubricate your rusty decisions-making skills? If we don't take this step, we'll never be able to leave the world of memory. Yeah, let me give it a try then. Anne? It's okay, I've made up my mind. Whoa. Oh, that's cool! Is that what the Holy Blade of Narcissus is really like? Weren't you listening, Caterpillar? I just explained that the Holy Blade can indwell any form that holds significance. Just like the Holy Blade of Narcissus we imagined. Change back. Very good, my mission is complete. Now I propose a trade. Take all of my emotions and memories. Huh? My power is no match for yours, and I will soon disappear. Save all that I am, that I may be reunited with everyone in the new world. Oh, so is this like a golden slumber thing again? Seems like he's not up to date with the latest news. But we established several nodes in Fontaine in accordance with the seal of chemical marriage as part of the response to the apocalypse. Today, only the 5 most important survive. Only the smallest part of the Master's plan has been implemented. But even that is a form of success. The arrival of the new world is fated. I cannot absorb your persona and memories. After all, I have no wish to retain anyone as much as serious as sins in the hands you are now. Huh? You may no longer be the crybaby Jacob, but as you are now, you are still not worthy of eternity. Rather than do that, we will help you entreat you. You must atone for your sins. Part of the Red Empress is within you, so you should know that she rejected the future. She wanted to return to the Narcissus Institute as it was, and watch again as we pretended to be the Narcissus Adventure Team. Beautiful memories are the only eternity in this world. There are no others. Grant it to me, O being of eternity. I do not wish to do so, and I will persuade that part of Lyris too. The appointed time has come. It seems the watch wound running up a little faster over the course of a century. What's going on here? I have reversed the seal of chemical marriage and reforged the Holy Blade of Reason. The truth of the world formula has been proven. The seal of chemical marriage was an ancient Fontanian ritual meant to seal off the source of life. Now it has been reversed, and all has been set free once more. That's insane. The Primordial Sea? Wait, back in the Fortress of Meritpe, the Primordial Sea was... time for Master Rene to return. He will break the seal and control the source of life. The pure water of life will inundate the world as he rises once more, giving birth to a new universe. All souls will be preserved forever, and the blade of will shall fall into the waters and be grasped by a legitimate owner. All will be united as one, gain power to combat the apocalypse. Jacob, I have already anticipated the end for this body. The clock may stop and the hand falls still. It may take Master a little time to find my will in the new world, but do not worry, we will meet again there. Jacob? What a terrible ending, but I fear there's no time for mourning the lamentation. Everything now hangs by a thread. If my sense of direction is right, I'm afraid the interior of the Tower of Gestalt is below us now. You've never been there, Caterpillar. It's the closest point of the Master's ultimate goal. I do not believe many have been there. That means we don't know what we'll find there. I'm ashamed to admit it, but yes. What is all this? It's a bunch of hydro-eidolons. Warning, abnormal environmental changes detected. I can see that just fine. It seems we don't have much time. Let's get to work quickly, before Jacob's new world comes a reality. Unlocked treasure. Book. To excise the self is not to die, but rather to die before death. That way, there is no life to be ended. Thus may one achieve eternity. This step is vital, for by this one may avoid receiving a vision by some error. To receive a vision, to sell oneself to fate of this world. To remain and evermore lose the chance to walk the correct path. So getting a vision is bad, huh? Binds yourself to the fate of this world. Go deeper.